Okay, welcome everybody to another World of Ability podcast. We are part of the World of Ability podcast network that was started a few years ago on July 26, 2020, on the 30th anniversary of the passage of the Americans with Disabilities Act that was signed into by then President H.W. Bush. And so I am Emily, one of the co-hosts of this show today. And we have a few great guests with us today, all of them who have been on our show at least once before. So we have Rudy, we have Kathy, we have Marianne. And so let's get started. So I think I'm going to start with Mr. Rudy. So Rudy, why don't you, we met Rudy through the Happy Neighborhood Project, and he is in the financial business. And so, Rudy, how about you come in here and kind of, if they say about who you are, what you do, that kind of thing.
I'd love to. So my name is Rudy Gargioni, and I teach people how money works, all those things that we didn't learn in school. I'm a big believer in financial education. I really don't think we're taught nearly enough. Simple concepts like the rule of 72, compound interest, the time value of money, really just bringing clarity to people's finances, meeting them where they're at, whether they're in their 20s or their 70s, helping them understand not just the money aspect of it, but the mindset. Asking people, what's your relationship to money? What's your mindset revolving around money? That's a big, big factor. How do you treat your money? Whether you have a little or a lot, that can make a big difference. So really leading with that and helping people have more clarity and having more hope. Showing them what it would take to save for retirement, or if they're in retirement and they're not happy with what their retirement accounts are doing, showing them different vehicles and places they could put their money that could be potentially better for them. Really just speaking to the 99%, because unfortunately, 99% of people don't have somebody in their corner to help them with their finances. And that's where I want to come in. I want to say, hey, the single mom with 3 kids, the solopreneur that's running a business, even the business owner for that matter, who could use a little bit more clarity. That's where I want to come in and say, hey, I'm here for you. Let's talk about it. So really bringing education and awareness, because I'm a big believer in that if you are informed and educated, you can make empowered decisions about your financial future. So what I aim to do, I want to change the conversation around money and change the face of the American economy one family at a time.
So awesome. How about we move over to...
Well, I'd like to jump in.
Oh, okay. Go right in, Marianne.
Well, hi, aloha, and hola. I'm Marianne of Waikiki. I'm the author of the Acts of Kindness series featuring 200 folk Manus puppets. The books are written for animation movies with sign language characters and soundtracked by Lucy Lynch and the Perfect Wave. So I'm really excited to hear you say some of those words because I'm writing a book called Cool Acts of Kindness for Climate Change as a sequel book. So the first book is Underwater Acts of Kindness for Ocean Cleanup. The second book is Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully for anti-bullying, and Cool Acts of Kindness for climate change. So through the Happy Neighborhood projects, I got to be a host in Hawaii, and then I became your sign language interpreter for the Ability Group. And I met Daniel, who was in the financial business as well. And we talked about some of the financial crisis or kindness that's kind of happening with this pandemic. and thoughts for our future. So we came up with some characters, and I want to share with you because we just finished the outline of the book, and one of the chapters' name is going to be called Monkey Mind or Monkey Business. And we have several different characters that highlight how money works. And by the way, Lee Rosenberg introduced us to that book, How Money Works.
Awesome.
We read that book, Sailing, and Leon McLaughlin was in Waikiki in October on Happy Neighborhood Projects and met Lee, and he read the book Flying Home Back to Seattle. So getting back to around these characters here is it's called Monkey Mind or Monkey Business is the chapter. We have Mr. Grizzly Forecast. We have the long-term lizard. We have Penny, who is the hedge fund. She's a hedgehog and hedge fund manager. And we have the McCalls for a cancel communication because we want to cancel out stuff that we're not really kind of putting out into the universe. And I think there's a couple other ones here, but anyway, it's pretty. We have it in there. The characters highlighting, how it's affecting this whole climate change is affecting our financial crisis, and I'm saying it's a financial kindness in the book to shift that energy and do the good things that we need to do. And how it's affecting these businesses. Big businesses have affected our Mother Earth. Today is Earth Day, by the way, such as our big, oil companies and Shell and palm oil that they used with Burger King and Kraft and all these big businesses that were making profits off of this climate change situation that we're in now. So I'm not sure how the story's going to go, but they're really cute characters highlighting your financial pieces here, such as Mr. Grizzly Forecast. And we have the Wolf of Kindness. That's what it is. The Wolf of Kindness for climate kindness, not the Wolf of Wall Street, but the Wolf of Kindness. Long-term lizard, Miss Penny, the hedge fund manager, Mr. Grizzly Forecast, and there's several more that I need to add in there too. But I give a shout out to Daniel from the Happy Neighborhood Project. He and I spoke, and I got some of these ideas. So now I can say it's actually implemented, and it's in the chapter for us to write. We also have a banana snail who's a banana palm agent. Nicholas, if you're listening. So it's going to be great fun, and we have people in the Happy Neighborhood Projects and Clean Water Foundation too. So Leon is doing his work. He's going to be hosting a fundraiser in Beverly Hills, California at one of the real estate offices to raise about $5,000 for the Hopi Navajo tribe to bring filters to their community. So just think of how many people's lives can be saved. Their financial health, you're talking about money and all that. Just think of what clean water has. That gives you the ability to be mobile, not going to the hospital, incurring hospital bills. Doctor's offices, medications and stuff like that. Because that's all financial stress too by just not having clean water. So we want to thank Leon for what he's doing, and hopefully he's going to come down here to San Carlos, Mexico, where I'm at, and we're going to start writing the climate change book, Cool Acts of Kindness with Suzanne Sims, and looking forward to doing all that. So it's going to be great fun with those characters. Back to you, Emily.
All right, so how about we bring Kathy in here? Kathy, why don't you say a little bit about who you are, what you do, and introduce yourself?
Sure. Yeah. Hi, everyone. Amazing to hear you speak, and your projects sound dear to my heart as well. I'm a visual artist and have multiple disabilities, and I work with people with disabilities, and I do art with them, and I see the benefits and the relaxation they get from it, and the feeling of well-being that that art can create in those in 20 minutes of doing it, you know. And happy Earth Day to you all as well. And we are celebrating here in Ireland as well. And yeah, so my art has been very much informed by not for profit and volunteering over 20 years as a socially engaged artist, and raising awareness of different topics over the years. I'm currently working on a human rights disability protest at the moment that we're having here in Ireland on Monday, to get more supports and implement this legislation that has been put in place but is not functioning right now, in order for people to get their needs met, particularly with people with disabilities. And so I've been busy with that. But we're using art as a way of communicating our needs as well, and that often has a great impact. And like Marion was saying, in terms of like creating characters, using art in a similar way of highlighting the issues, because often, using satire, for example, of certain serious situations can transform those situations. Um, and yeah, I continue to do what I do, and I love what I do. And like Rudy was saying there, in terms of mindset, I've been living on a low income for many years, doing a lot of voluntary work, and now I'm at a point where I need to be earning and living without worrying about losing my home and or my wheelchair if I can't afford to get a wheelchair, or not to not be in a worry state all the time of stress. And I see this with people with disabilities as well, who are on low incomes, and if we earn a certain amount over what we're allowed to earn here, we lose our medical care, we lose quite a lot of our supports, if we earn over a certain amount. So it keeps us on a very low income, and we're fighting for that change so that we could be contributing to society while working, but also be able to get paid without penalised for that work we're doing. And yeah, so that's kind of so yeah, I've gone through the education system here as well, and I'm all about the education, but it was very challenging as a wheelchair user to get a master's degree, and I've seen how inaccessible places can be, and we want to see that change. When I hear about America and how accessible most places are, I'm like, I want to go and visit America just to experience that, because I can't leave the house without organizing at least 20 steps ahead to make sure there's ramps in place for me to travel, and so on, to get on a train, to get, most buses I can't get on. And so it would be, so we're having to fight and make noise about it in order to have our basic needs met. And it's not until you end up in situations like that that you realize how challenging and difficult it is. And so, with my own experiences and hearing the stories of others, I would love to see a more accessible future for everyone. And I keep using my art practice to do that. So thank you for listening, and thank you for sharing.
And welcome to Rudy's Kitty. But we have Barbara, who just joined us. Barbara, do you have, we call her the color commentator? So Barbara, do you have anything you would like to say today? Or at the moment? And you are in mute. I was going to come back to you. But anyway, happy Earth Day to everybody. And well, happy Earth Day to everybody. And now, Marianne, that ties in very well, it seems, to with your book series and with a few of your books and that kind of thing, right? So it's all about like the different Earth things.
Yeah, today is Earth Day, and I want to highlight Lucy Lynch. She's originally from Germany, and she moved to Hawaii, and she's created several albums, which are the soundtrack to the Acts of Kindness series, featuring 200 folks Manus puppets. My books are in for animation movies with the sign language characters. And the first book is Underwater Acts of Kindness for ocean cleanup. The second book is Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully for anti-bullying. And the third book is coming out, well, we're working on it. It's Cool Acts of Kindness for climate change. So want to highlight Lucy's production called For the Four Elements, which she had at the Hawaiian Hilton Village during the pandemic, where she had a big 3D screen in a theater that had moving chairs and shifted you like you're going through the waterfalls and mists. And anyway, it's a great meditation for earth, wind, air, fire. The crystal bowl sound healing is just amazing. Like I can really feel the strength come back in my arms listening to it. And there's 4 different sets for the 4 elements, and it's just amazing in vibrant energy to have crystal bowl sound, crystal bowl healings to heal our mind, body, and spirit. And solfeggio frequencies, I highly encourage too. They work very well. And so we're celebrating Earth Day. So go out and do something kind for Mother Earth. If you got, some eggshells or bananas, or vegetables, cut ups that, go put them by a tree. Go hug a tree. Go water a tree. Walk the beach and pick up some garbage, or if you're at the bus stop, just pick something up, do something kind for Mother Earth so we can keep this planet healthy and whole. And back to you.
Barbara, do we have you? Oh, we have.
There we go. Now I unmuted. Yay, I figured it out.
Okay. Do you have anything you'd like to say today, Barbara?
Yeah, just like keep believing, because sometimes you'll think, oh, this is where I am and I'm not going to get past here, especially if you're an older person. And then the power of friendship, the power of people caring about each other, and all the strength and health that brings into life, when we don't let each other just be alone, and makes all the difference in the world. They asked Mother Teresa, what's the best thing I can do for humanity? And she said, like, see someone who feels like they're alone in the world and let them know they're not. And that was one of the most powerful things you could do as a human being to help this planet be a better place. And I saw that today for myself. My friend came way out of her way to bring me to a study meeting she knew I'd appreciate. And it just amazes me how much stronger I feel because of that. How much more alive. I wonder if I communicated that very well.
No, I think so. I think of being Rudy back here. Rudy, do you have any comments to anybody else to say or so far? Or
And
hey,
they're giving some great projects, it sounds like, that's for sure.
I guess maybe one thing, Rudy. For this isn't out of whatever, but you're in the financial business now. How Why don't we go back to maybe before you were in like the financial business? Like, what were you doing before you got into the financial business, and how you got into what you're doing now?
So actually, funny story about that. So I had my dream job prior to this. I was in auto sales. I'm a car guy. I've been a car guy since I was 10. And the pandemic happened, and well, funny thing, and this is going to sound really weird, losing my dream job was the best thing that ever happened to me. I know it sounds really weird, but it brought me here. So it was totally a wonderful thing to happen. Funny how the universe works. But the pandemic, had a massive effect on businesses as a whole. I was the one man on the totem pole, so they let me go. It's fine. Wonderful company to work for. I would definitely work. I would definitely buy a car from them in a heartbeat. So that happened, but it ended up being a absolutely, interesting way to find my purpose in life. And what ended up happening was I would, I'd check out networking events, kind of, learn what was going on in the world because there was a lot. And then I met a woman who said, "Oh, I teach people how money works." I'm like, interesting. Teaching people how money works. Okay, that's something I haven't heard before. Tell me more about that. Needless to say, we talked for quite a while, and she taught me a lot about myself as well, which was amazing. I got an education twice, and then I met her mentor, which became mine, and I realized, oh my God, this is a big deal. And they gave me an education that I didn't even know I needed. They asked me what my relationship to money was. Nobody's asked me that question before. I'm like, I make it, I spend it. I guess that's an answer. And, but then they opened my eyes. They helped me have a better understanding of my own, not just the dollars and cents aspect of it, but the mindset around money, how you treat money, how you can use money. And when I realized all that, I said, "Oh my God, this is a big deal." Like, it's more than just the dollars and cents. It's the mindset piece. It's helping people with that. And it just became such a calling to me. I had to do it. I had to. And I said yes with my heart before I said yes with my voice, because I realized that there was something that I could really make an impact in the world with, all across the country. And I said, I have to do this. And then when I realized the potential, when I realized, oh man, I can really make a difference in people's lives, not just now, but 20, 30, 40, 50 years from now. And then they're going to teach their kids. And then their kids are going to teach their kids. And then, before I know it, 200-300 years will pass by, and my impact will still be resonating, even though I'm dust and bones floating in the cosmos. So it's amazing. It really is the level of impact I can have on people's lives now and far in the future. And I always like to say, I'm planting seeds for trees I'm never going to sit under. There's going to be a forest of prosperity growing long after I'm gone. And it really went from my head to my heart. And I said, I need to do this. Not just for me, for every single person that I talk to, every person I run into in a networking event or meeting, or go get gas at the gas station or what have you. And it just made me really realize what my purpose was here. And yeah, interesting roundabout way to figure it out. But hey, the universe works in strange ways sometimes, and we might not necessarily figure it out, but everything kind of happens for a reason. And my mom also would always remind me of this. And a lot of the times I'd be like, "Yeah, Mom, okay." She would tell me, "You are where you are for a reason." And of course, I'm like, "Yeah, okay, Mom, sure, Mom." But then, of course, I knew she was right. I knew she was right, even though I didn't want to necessarily admit it. But now I always say, hey, Mom, you remember that time you told me you are where you are for a reason? You were right. And she's like, I know. I'm like, yeah. I love my mom. But that's a big thing when you find your purpose with what you're doing. It opens up doors and gives you a vision that it's really hard to articulate to words because it is so much in your heart. And I feel so blessed to have what I have here with what I'm doing. So many people need it. And at the end of the day, I want to change the world a little bit. And as far as I'm concerned, if I can help, a few thousand people, tens of thousands of people even with this, then I will have done what I needed to do in this beautiful little world. So kind of a nerd with numbers. At the end of the day, it's just all about the impact for me. It's all about what I can do for the person I'm talking to, whether it's referring somebody to their business or a strategic partnership or helping them with their finances or whatever that might entail, helping them, build a business of their own, doing this, whatever that entails. That's the big thing for me. I want to go into conversations. I want to go into interactions with like, hey, how can we help each other out? Because people these days need help, even if it's just a kind word or an affirmation. People need that too. And I really think that if I can help make the conversation around money easier, it can make the family dynamic a little more comfortable. It can make people feel a little more hopeful. It can make people feel a little more empowered. And at the end of the day, everybody wins from that.
Yeah. I think that's the goal. A very important goal. Yeah, do you have any thoughts to Rudy was saying, or what were you doing before you started what you're doing right now, or how did you get into what you're doing now? Oh, yeah, Gracie. Okay, maybe I might have stepped away here. Marianne, do you have any comments? I know you were a sign language person before starting this Acts of Kindness series, and want to say anything to say about that, or any more about your series?
Well, sure, I can. Hang on a second here. I'm trying to find. I can't get on. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you.
Can you hear me? Oh, okay. Yeah. 30 some years ago, I was a case manager for an agency called Transition Community Support Programs out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. And at the time, President Bush signed the American Disabilities Act. And I'm real excited to, meet Trevor Gibbs through Happy Neighborhood Projects. He has a company out of Orlando that makes sure business owners have their websites ADA compliant. If not, you can receive a hefty fine of up to $75,000. So, yes, through my journey of other careers, and I went to Hawaii and I visited, and I ended up staying and interpreting for a deaf man for over a decade. And I asked what my next purpose was at the Unity Church of Hawaii. And through guided meditation, I was guided. I was going to write a series of children's sign language books with puppets. So I walked down to the Ala Moana Mall, and anyway, I saw this tree of folk Manus puppets, and I could put my hands in this chicken puppet, and I could actually move my fingers and sign with it. And it kind of started the spark from there, and it kept channeling to me that I was going to write these books. And Lucy Lynch was singing at the church, and Suzanne Sims is the writer, so I would be signing at the back of the church, and I would be thinking of things that were happening, such as all this garbage was flowing around my sailboat. And, where's this all coming from? And Suzanne and I created the first book, Underwater Acts of Kindness, featuring Noah, the hard of hearing whale, who's recruited by a sea turtle called the General of the New Earth Army to tackle the Great Pacific Garbage Patch. So we have 450 well, not that. We have 500 million people now with a hearing loss, and we have millions of moms and dads coming home from being of service who can't hear their own children or grandchildren. So this is what the universe is. So I guess I found my purpose again and my calling, and got to still go out and play. And we created the second book, Rabbit Acts of Kindness, No Bully, featuring 20 more puppets. And I'm working on the climate change book here in Mexico, and my co-writer was in Guadalajara. So it just keeps channeling, and it's just a lot of fun to create this. And again, no one has done anything in sign language in animation movies. So think of me as kind of like your next J.K. Rowling, Dora the Explorer. We're going to retell like Hello Kitty, and this is what the world needs. And I'm just having fun. I mean, it just doesn't stop creating. And I started taking a Mel Robbins workshop this week, and boy, did I get a lot of creative ideas how to develop these characters, to find solutions for challenging problems, and what the world's going through with this whole pandemic. And I did use the pandemic unemployment assistance money to become federally trademarked with Dr. Liddy out of Happy Neighborhood Projects out of Orlando to federally trademark this series. So I've created 10 app games. So when you read the chapters, you can go to the website, actsofkindnessseries.com, meet the fingerspelling characters such as Chelsea, the courageous sign language chicken, Eve, the fingerspelling bumblebee, Dr. Fingers, the fingerspelling hermit crab, and Greta Gobble on the golf course. And then you can go to Apple and play the games for free and test your skills. So it's just great fun, and it's unbelievable how unlimited what I can create now with all these amazing characters, and share the good news with the world. And happy birthday, everybody. Back to you.
So here we have. Kathy, do you have anything you'd like to add to? Kathy, do you have a comment, question? What would you like to say?
Yes, definitely. Thank you, Emily. Just in regard to Marion's work there with the sign language, which sounds so good. And I've been doing some training myself in sign language a lot for. I work with non-verbal people at work, and we do quite a lot of sign there. Even though they can't speak, they don't necessarily maybe always be able to communicate it, and that they can hear but not be able to communicate it. And recently, I discovered I have some hearing loss myself, and I need to get hearing aids. And so a lot of I didn't realize a lot of my physical language was attributed to my own hearing loss as well. I was kind of doing it naturally, but not realizing why. And so, as I'm really interested in learning more about sign and sign language, and also, even with some non-verbal communicators, they might not necessarily always be able to understand sign. So again, it's kind of maybe breaking it down to even simpler again, so it doesn't get too technical. Because I've gone to learn some sign and I'm going, what? So it's great that I think it's important for us to learn it at a very young age, because we learn languages better at that age, and it becomes more natural. And so I'd love to share some of Marion's work at work as well. Because I work with 18 plus and 40 plus age groups with very different disabilities, and we communicate quite a lot with sign already, and I would like to know more. And it's not a new world to me, but I want to know more myself. And I'm still getting because I have quite loud tinnitus, and so I had stopped going out because I didn't realize I wasn't hearing people. It was, yeah, and so I've become quite isolated in my own little hearing bubble. And so I'm sure with hearing aids it might get a bit easier, but I really want to know how to learn sign and get more used to it. And like any language, if you don't use it, you don't learn it as well. So I suppose being around people who are using it is important as well. And so I'll pass it back again. Thank you. Happy Earth Day.
Happy Earth Day. Ariana, you have any comments to that?
Oh, no, just thank you very much, Emily, for having us on the show. And, Lawrence Wingate Studios, Transform You Media, everybody in Canada that's supporting the shows, Kurt Roscoff and his wife Sue, and Happy Neighborhood Project. So just want to give thank you to everybody and happy Earth Day. Let's hear from Barb.
I don't think Barbara's with us at the moment. But let me see. I guess a couple things that I would like to say with there are a few events coming up here. First is the Disability Channel is doing a Good Friends World Tour 2023 with a June 2023 launch in Cleveland, Ohio and Toronto, Ontario, and touring the US and Canada. And the Southern Outlaws Band, who recently performed performed on the Too Hot Radio stage with Rock Nation at the Arizona Super Bowl 2023, along with Gino Gilbert and the Mighty One and J.R. Kai is a part of this. There's going to be rock music genres promoting friendship, positivity, adventure, and including special international guests. We're sharing the journey with millions of people worldwide through performance, radio, TV, social media. Media proudly sponsored by the Disability Channel and Valued Partners. We are also bringing awareness and support to Project Die Hard, which is a veteran-owned, veteran-run nonprofit out of Paducah, Kentucky. And its goal is to have 90% of all donations go towards veterans programs. And another thing is that we just recently found out that Canada will be the host of the 2025 Invictus Games. They just found out that bid. They got the bid recently. And there is a website on invictusgamesfoundation.org that everybody can check out. It's invictusgamesfoundation.org. And another thing that we just recently found out about is there is going to be a Afro Film Summit and Expo, held in Atlanta, Georgia, October 12th through 14th. And we are on a fundraising campaign. So we are kind of helping them out with the fundraising and promoting of this event. So if anyone is, well, the website for this is one film one market summit.org. That's the number one film number one market summit.org. And there is guys Jasper Johnson and Joseph Ida, and Jasper's wife, who were kind of leading up, holding this event. So it's coming from Nigeria, coming South Africa, event. It's going to be held in Atlanta, Georgia. So if anybody is interested in helping with or attending that event, to please check out the sites or connect with us about that. And guys, any getting down towards, we have a little time here left. Anything else you like to say, Rudy? I know your team has grown by at least one as of just recently. So how have things been going in the financial business?
Things are definitely growing, which is always good. just being able to get the message out there to more people. That's a big goal of mine, because so many people, they need to know what's out there. They need to know the options they have. And it's so sad how few people do. And I want to be able to, reach as many people as I can and get the message out there. Give people a sense of clarity, a sense of peace of mind, a sense of hope around finance. And that's really where I want to be for people. And so I'm really glad I'm able to get my message out there even more.
Yeah, finances are important. Is there anything else you'd like to say, Kathy? How's everything going over in Ireland?
Yeah, just like Rudy, I'm hoping for change as well. The deep. I'm looking for the deep changes. I'm looking for the big changes. Not only for myself, but for everyone. And we're hoping. I personally would love time freedom to spend time making art of my own. And I don't have a lot of that these days, because I have to work to keep a roof over my head. I have to I love to do art with others, but I also feel like I would like a bit more time freedom and financial freedom to not have to work as hard, to not have to fight as hard for our basic needs to be met. That we could earn a bit more and live a bit better at better standards. I at heart I'm an artist, but I'm also a freedom fighter. when I see injustice, and I'd prefer not to have to be protesting. I'd prefer not to be having to put myself on the line in order to help implement these changes. Yet here we are having to fight for those rights, So there's a long history of treating people with disabilities very badly in this country and worldwide. And we have a human right to exist, and to not only be relying on the charitable society, that we could have a valid place in society in order to be able to in order to be able to learn and earn, and without being financially blocked by it. And so I'm definitely on similar wavelength to Rudy as well, in terms of wanting that those changes, and I hope for those changes in our lifetime. And as my father used to say, you've got to start small. And so I've done over 20 years now of that kind of starting small. So I need to expand how much I can earn, how much time freedom I have, to have more time to have fun and play, and do and live like most people do, instead of having to fight for our rights. And whilst that is important, it would be, most of the activists I know, most of us don't want to be having to do that, to fight and fight and fight. We don't want to fight anymore about it. We just want to be able to live happily and freely and joyfully, dealing with health issues, dealing with long-term situations, and to have some quality of life really as well. I wish that for myself and for others as well. And and to hope for those changes to happen quickly, We're done waiting. Thank you.
Yeah, I would agree with you, right, Rudy?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I think we're just coming up on our end here. Wanted to thank both of you for coming on today. I appreciate it, along with Marianne and Barbara and others who have joined us or tuned in today. And with I'd like to give special thanks to Marcus Hart of Transforming Media, Jay Stoyan of the Disability Channel, Zach Clayton of the Tech Channel, and Lawrence Wingate of Wingate Studios for replaying the show on their platforms. I also like to encourage everybody to check out all of our social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, and to share, like, comment, subscribe. And we are here every Saturday at the same time, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. And I would encourage everybody to join us whenever their schedule allows. And we've had several people be on here quite a few times, so others who've just been on here once, so whatever you'd like to. I encourage everybody coming back as much as they would like to join us. And for anybody who has any questions, comments, concerns, and so on, can contact me and either podcast@gmail.com or 715-303-9835. And yes, until next time, happy Earth Day, and wish everybody a safe and productive week, and to stay happy.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily.
Recording
and,
stopped.
Thank you,
have a
everybody.
great day. Now I can speak.